Well, on the day, Indian markets are reacting to the outcome of exit poll. ET now is coming live to you from India's biggest dealing room, and the action here is absolutely breathtaking. To talk about what is the way forward for Indian markets, I have a very special guest, Mr. Ramdev Agrawal. So good to be here. The action here is absolutely breathtaking. Phones are ringing, orders are flowing.
On right day you are here. After 5 years we are seeing this activity, this energy. Yeah.
You know, I always get worried when energy levels are high. That means markets are topping.
No, but this is a different time.
Why do you say that?
Because I think after 4-5 years we are seeing, the market turning around. Markets are reasonably priced, and there is a political change. There is optimism in the air. Whether there is a mandate. You have a very good mandate to the government. First thing is the quality of mandate is expected to be very good. I don't think it is going to be structured. The worst prediction is about 250 seats for NDA, which itself is pretty good. But if you get more like 300, because if you cut out the two outliers, 340 and 250, then you are stuck at 282, 283 with an upward bias. So I think we are done as far as the election is concerned. So we are going to get now the leader cannot complain that he didn't get a good mandate to perform. And he is known for performance. So let's see what happens.
Okay, so let's look at both the scenarios. First scenario, markets get their way on Friday, which is NDA clear majority. Some would argue, is that event already in the price in the short term?
Yes. Till it is done, it is not done. And particularly the speculators can believe that yes, it has happened, and they will speculate whether the investors will come or not. So obviously the big investors cannot speculate in next 3 days. I was overseas last fortnight, and I have seen big money is getting ready to come into India if we get a good mandate.
So even though we've got $5 billion this year, $20 billion last year, if we get a good government, you think the flow to Indian equities is going to increase multifold? Is that your assessment?
Yes. Initially, even without much happening, we are going to see sustained inflow. There are a lot of, because in terms of emerging markets, there are not many emerging markets where they can go. China is out of favor, Russia is, what is happening, Brazil is gone nowhere. So among the emerging markets, developed markets are doing very well. Right now the trade is developed market, not emerging market so much. But they also want to kind of put a little bit of diversification to emerging markets, and India stands out big time.
Okay, so scenario one is that markets get their way on Friday, governance improves and flows flows they come back to India. What about scenario two? If we get a fractured mandate, if markets don't like what we get on 16th of May, what could be the downside?
See, your 200 is moving. See, when you are talking about not a very good mandate, I would think that still you will get 225, 230 seats, NDA. Below that, nobody is even voting. So let's not talk about something which is completely not there. Can we get UPA getting 250, 270 seats? That would be kind of a big surprise. But I would think in a more reasonable way that if the markets were to break down for whatever reason, whether it is a buy on rumors, sell on news, and suddenly so much of has happened, 1000 points, it has moved 1500 points without any major correction, then maybe it can come down to 200 days moving average, which is about 64, 6500.
The action in this room is so strong that our cameras are not catching your audio. So on today when markets are charged up, maybe you'll have to speak slightly loud as well so that our viewers can hear what you're saying.
Okay. So I think the actions now it has become much more electronic than that signal driven market. So I think the noise levels can be controlled, but the action on the screen is much
It's breathtaking. When I walked in at 8 o'clock in the morning, it almost looked like a desert. This is my first visit here, and I'm kind of enjoying my first visit here.
So this is one of the largest dealing room in India.
Okay.
And so this is set up especially for the high net worth individuals, and this is some very proprietary software for managing the client's expectation, the information flow, and it's one of the largest dealing rooms.
So as we speak, all the dealers which we can see here, they're simply taking live orders and punching them in the system.
No, they're also advising. They're advising a lot of. There are 1800 centers all over the country.
Okay.
So advisors are sitting here who are getting feed from research, which is on the 9th floor. So from 9th floor, continuously information is coming here.
It's all integrated.
All integrated in one building.
So if you have to advise our viewers,
yes,
what would you advise? How should they move? Because at 7200 on the Nifty, the big thought is all the good news in the price? Are markets running ahead of themselves, and should one really wait for a sizable decline before they commit capital?
Hey, boy, don't time the market. This is how in last 5 years of bull run, after the 2008-9 collapse from 21,000 to 8,000, markets are already 4 times, 3 times, after like 24,000 from 8,000 to 20,000, and nobody has gotten, thanks to this so-called timing. I mean, you can't time. You must invest when you have the money to invest. You must take equity allocation. Equity is the most expandable asset class. It's a wonderful asset class. Once you buy quality at reasonable price, you should look for bargains. I mean, whether it's a foreign time. So, I mean, you'll find bargains among the stocks you understand, and you buy 8-10 of them. Or if you're not competent to find bargains or manage a portfolio, you give money. Such wonderful people are managing portfolios. There are so many good mutual funds, whole lot of them. And actually, it's one most wonderful country where a lot of professional managers, they beat the market.
So your advice is, and I don't want to get this one wrong for our viewers, it's very important I recheck with you. Your advice is that don't worry about the level. Nifty could be at 7,000, it could be at 6,500. Rather than focusing on the extent of the rally, focus on the earnings would move and what kind of macro setup you are staring at.
First thing is, don't bother too much about the economics, don't bother too much about the politics and the short-term gains and timing the market. You must get your allocation right. I mean, if you have, if you are a solid, what you call saver, if you have a crore rupees to invest, financial savings, in that case, at least 50% should be in the equity. That is the first decision. Once you get your equity allocation right, say 50-50, in that case, then it is question of whether you can manage or find the best manager.
The way you manage money, the way you invest, will that change if we get an NDA regime?
No.
So you will stick to quality?
Yeah. Quality is non-negotiable. Because 90% of the problem is because of the low quality coming into the portfolio in good times, and then it becomes a long-term portfolio, and it gives trouble. I mean, we have gone through so many times. So I don't want to repeat it again. So I want to build a quality stocks portfolio, and finding bargains in quality is much more difficult.
Just because rupee has appreciated, are you tempted to relook at your IT positions, especially?
Where has it appreciated?
Well, it's gone from 62 to 59.5.
It's just a, I mean, it's right now it is like that, but my sense is that rupee will remain weak, and rupee will remain very export competitive rather than capital flow competitive. So it will, the rate will be determined by the capital flows trade flows rather than capital flows, because we don't, after 20 years we again went into the free fall in the rupee. So I think the banker, the monetary authority, the people in Delhi, I'm quite sure they were concerned. It was another crisis we saw last year, and in fact one of the problem for sure for UPA to lose credibility among the businessmen and all was the free fall of rupee also. So clearly I don't think anybody would venture again to undermine the problem of keeping the export competitive, so that your current account balance remains.
Are you happy to buy Tech Mahindra at the current level?
Yeah. I mean, that remains my one of the most favorite bets even now.
There is a general belief in the market that economic recovery will be led by new sectors. And typically when economic recovery comes back and when the new bull market starts, low quality stocks, they start outperforming. And we've seen evidence of that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so clearly there will be opportunities, because for the active investors, see, finding bargain is the game. Whether you find bargain in low quality or high quality, bargains are available a lot more in the low quality today than in high quality. So it's your choice where you want to play. Second, bargains are available in small cap more than in large caps. So finding a bargain in large cap, high quality.
Where are those bargains? I'm trying to think.
So that's what. So that's where the expertise comes in terms of finding those and putting that one by one in the portfolio. And see, since you're buying for 10-15 years, you don't need many ideas every day. Because once you're allocated, you're allocated.
What was the last big acquisition in terms of stock allocation? What did you acquire?
Yeah, so I bought, as I said, last time we discussed about Gujarat Pipavav.
That's done extremely well.
Did very well. So that's high quality, terrific infrastructure play, terrific management, and it was available at very reasonable price.
It's at 100 rupees now.
No, yeah, so it
almost 100 rupees.
It's just doubled. I mean, since we discussed last, you did a clip on that of I think 10-15 minutes. Yes. So you need to find one. If I keep finding like this, one in 3 months or 6 months.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a very long-term oriented question for your area of expertise. Assuming that we are staring at a strong bull market and next 3 years we would be in a definitive uptrend, Give me 3 names which you are happy to own for next 3 years. You could pick and choose from large cap, mid cap, small cap. 3 years, I think, is a reasonable time frame.
Nikunj, please, because what happens is, whatever I tell, I can correct my mistakes. For the viewers, it becomes problem. Say, we talked about Gujarat Power just now. We bought it, say 45-50, and now discussion is happening openly at about say 100 because you know the history.
Yeah.
But it's so unfair for me to tell.
So why don't you give me large cap stocks where you think visibility for 3 years is there?
Yeah, that's one. So if you look at HDFC Bank, among the banking institutions, you look at say, I would remain very optimistic on prospects of SBI for at this juncture. So that is financial. Even HDFC Limited itself, I mean, a stock which is available for 14 P multiple for 14-15 on a consolidated basis with an earnings growth of about 20-80%. I think it's a fantastic. If somebody wants to double the money in next 5 years, I think these stocks are very, very safe. Tech Mahindra we talked about, which is available for 13-14 P multiple. Somebody says 160 rupees. So even if earnings are going to be 150 rupees, we are talking about 1700-1800 rupees price. We're talking about what? 12 times, 13 times?
So, Ramdev, in a sense, you are making a case that look, you are not worried about the recent frenzy in the rally, and you are happy to approach this event, which many feel will be a binary event, with a long bias.
Yeah. See, the issue is that market has traded between say 0.5 times market cap to GDP to 1.8. So we have to avoid the bubbles, and there is no bubbles right now.
Even in consumer names?
No. I mean, see, specific in consumer names. Why? Because the consumer slowed down. You get, say like today, say Nestle is at say 40p, at 47, 48. The problem is not the P multiple. The problem is the growth rate, because the whole economy is slowed down. So they are growing at 5-7%. The moment the growth comes back to the trend growth rate of last 15-20 years at about 20% or say 15% plus, these stocks are looking very reasonably priced.
So let's say if you're having the same conversation after 3 years in this very dealing room, what kind of market level do you think we could be staring at?
Nikunj, it is very tough because a lot of things are going to happen. Say if you have acute drought, and oil price goes to $150, so a lot of things will change. But what I'm saying is, today for a market cap to GDP of 0.65, see right now, because the new government has come, new policies will come, new level of execution will come.
So you think so?
Yeah, beyond doubt, that's the expectation, that's the dream.
Ramdev, but markets have this uncanny, I'm not talking about exit polls, okay? Markets have this uncanny knack of getting the economic cycle wrong. And let me give you 2 examples. When UPA 1 came back to power, markets were circled down, markets were nervous about the economic policies they could follow. What preceded the UPA 1 regime was a big bull run. And pretty much the reverse of happened when UPA 2 came to power. So markets also have this uncanny knack of getting election cycles and economic cycles wrong. What is the certainty that this time they will get it right?
There is no certainty. The probability remains same that we might get it wrong again. Because see what it takes to build an expectation. Nothing. Just it's a thought, and that changes the market. 3 months back at 6,000 nobody wanted to touch, and today at 7,000 there is no stock available. 3 months back, SBI at 1,500 they were begging. They couldn't complete this thing and everything.
The QIB almost bombed.
It did bomb. I think LIC and all those came to rescue. Today at 2,200, 2,300, there is a dearth of supply. So this is how the whole thing changes, because markets are about today's opinion is today's price, tomorrow's opinion is tomorrow's price. So markets can change its view, and market can change itself very quickly in terms of opinions. But it takes a lot to deliver. So say Mr. is saying that he will give 24/7 power all over the country. Do you think it is that easy? And I'm not saying that he's not committed to doing it. He will do it, but it will take a lot of time. And once they get on to going to deliver that thing, solving each and every problem, where is the problem? Because they have to see from full value chain, from colliery to generation to distribution to collection of the bills, and then what incentive you give to the generator. So the whole loop has to be looked into. Anywhere it breaks down, and then center-state relationship comes, then politicization of power comes. There's a whole lot of issues which come in. So, but then it's a problem because power is the first basic thing to increase the productivity of the economy. So it is very important that power problem is sorted out. This is the kind of problem which you which we expect this government to take up and solve it. But I don't have any solutions to give to them.
Yeah, fair
And
point.
so, when those things get sorted out, you see the things building up.
Okay, let's talk about PSU as a group in general. Now, markets believe that the India regime is a better regime for PSUs. PSUs, they get greater autonomy. PSUs currently are cash rich, and some would argue that if the next investment cycle has to start, it has to start from PSUs because they have all the money on their balance sheet.
Yeah.
Are you a big fan of PSU stocks in general? Are you a big fan of that group?
No, I got maximum hurt in last 5-6 years in PSU stocks. And,
The history now, like you said.
that has become history, but let's see what changes they bring. I mean, they are very consolidated, very large position kind of thing, but management has been pathetic in the sense that they have been very disappointing in the way they conducted themselves, and I don't know whether it is a policy issue or whether it is just the management. I mean, there's so many PSUs which never get even the leadership, in the sense that the post of the MD and all remain vacant.
Chairmen keep changing.
Chairmen keep changing. In 2 days, somewhere you appointed for 6 months, somewhere you appointed for. I mean, this is a very globally competitive economy. Now, for PSUs, the competition comes from within also, in the sense that, like for all the PSU banks, your first competition is from private sector banks. They are taking all the good assets and clients and leaving the kachara with them. So, I think what is important is that this entire PSU culture of managing in a competitive environment has to change. So, I am not big fan of very long-term, large holding in PSUs, but depending on what changes come and how environment is built, and I mean, one can relook at that thing, but I am not a great fan per se right now.
How are you allocating capital in the mid-cap space? Because some would argue that mid-cap is where the real value is. Large caps, well, by and large, 80% of the market is fully priced.
So you have to find those ideas. You have to become insightful about a particular company, that this company is going to become very large. Because see, ultimately all the companies, there is always emergence and endurance. So when the companies are emerging in this environment, you see emergence of a lot of new ventures which is started off say 5 years back, and say I started off my AMC say 5 years back. We are struggling till date because there was no equity inflow. So these kind of ventures will see the light of the day.
Okay.
So I think you are going to see a lot of emergence of new companies, and that is very interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show. It's been a pleasure covering
thanks very much for
markets
coming
from here. Just been so much of fun and pleasure. It's a terrific day indeed, and absolutely, Aisha. I mean, the mood here is absolutely breathtaking. You got to be here and understand what a trend can do to you.
Oh yes, what a buzzing dealing room and what a buzzing market at that. 7100, that's the high that we've clocked today, a fresh record. 70.96 now for the Nifty spot, and 71.15 as I speak for the Nifty futures as well. So who better than the big bull, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala? He's going to speak to us today at 80 now in an exclusive chat. And